Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their new Star Wars comics, books, novels, and video games, but also, let's not forget about the new Star Wars TV shows and movies that are currently in development by George, John, Dave, and even Disney CEO Bob Chapek. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, here we are. It is the very beginning of April. It is a very important month, as I said before many times, for Disney and Lucasfilm, because this is the very given month in which the Ahsoka Tano series begins filming, and of course other TV shows such as The Mandalorian Season 3 officially enters post-production, which means they're going to be editing that show, editing in all the effects, the music, the voiceover work, everything around those lines. That's going to take several months to complete. Now, when you look at everything related to what's been applied to the Mandoverse at large, we already know that the Mandalorian TV series is served as a foundation, if you will, or a way to branch out to other Star Wars shows. As you can see, The Mandalorian spawned shows such as The Book of Boba Fett, the Ahsoka Tano series, and more to arrive as well, that will be announced at Star Wars Celebration that takes place within the same exact realm or timeline of this post-Episode 6 era. However, when it all comes down to, of course, actor Pedro Pascal, alright? We already know that Pedro has been having quite a number of issues behind the scenes when it comes to The Mandalorian Season 4, about the whole helmet issue. We talked about this already before. I won't dive into that too much again. If you guys want to go ahead and check out my previous posts, I do talk about that. But everything related to Pedro Pascal, alright? There's been a lot of drama happening behind the scenes between himself, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and what he's trying to achieve with having more face time. I'll just leave it at that. However, when it all, of course, gets rooted to other things, the Ahsoka Tano series is set to begin filming in just 2 weeks' time, and Rosario Dawson is in fact training heavily for her role as Ahsoka. However, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are currently focused on creating other shows as well that will be revealed at Celebration this year. Now, it's described, however, that in a recent interview with actor Pedro Pascal, he went on to talk about the Star Wars fandom, Kathleen Kennedy, and his role in the franchise. Pedro Pascal went on to state, "When I analyze the fans and the entire Star Wars community, the only thing that I see is negativity. And at the end of the day, it's all the fans' fault when it involves Lucasfilm either canceling or delaying certain projects, and that to me is just irresponsible. That is why I believe fans need to stay quiet and keep their opinions to themselves so that we actors and creators can focus on our vision, our creation, to provide everyone a fun story. When I saw what fans did to Rian Johnson with The Last Jedi, I was absolutely disgusted at their behavior. This was all, of course, uncalled for. No fan has a right to make somebody feel so bad about themselves for creating a film that they had a vision for." Now, let me just pause right here for a second. Now, what Pedro Pascal is basically saying is that the fans have no right to raise their voices or to voice an opinion. That's basically what Pedro Pascal is getting it down to. I don't know why people like Pedro Pascal think the way that they think, but in his point of view, fans raising their opinions towards Rian Johnson on social media about The Last Jedi, or to media outlets out there, or to Lucasfilm and Disney directly, was uncalled for and disgusting behavior in Pedro Pascal's eyes. To me, I thought that this was absolutely necessary. Fans needed to raise their voices, they needed to raise their opinions, and look at where it got us, you know? Look at where John, George, and Dave are heading toward the Star Wars universe. They already did amazing things with Mando Season 2 with the addition of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and Luke Skywalker, and others like Bo-Katan. And what they did with the Book of Boba Fett series was absolutely incredible, with the addition of those characters returning. And I think it goes to show you that there really is a lot of work to be done in the Star Wars universe. It's not going to become a great thing overnight. It's going to take quite a number of TV shows consistently to prove to the fans that Star Wars is indeed back in action and back to its roots. They have to follow that Marvel, or the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe format, to really pay tribute to the fans, and that's what they are doing right now. They're just in the very early stages. and it's all going to take a lot of baby steps. But Pedro Pascal seems to be very naive or very out of place when it comes to how the Star Wars fans think or what Star Wars really stands for, right? But anyways, I digress. So moving on beyond all of this, alright, he goes on to say that, was the movie different? Yes, but I loved it personally. I really enjoyed Rian's work on the middle film of that trilogy. But I mean this when I say this, it most certainly is the fans' fault when it comes to creators feeling like a failure or as if they did something wrong with the Star Wars franchise. I feel bad for creators like J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson having to go through with this. Even Kathleen Kennedy does not deserve the amount of criticism that she gets from the fans. First of all, alright, Pedro, I gotta say this, is that Kathleen Kennedy 100% deserves the criticism that she gets. You know, nobody's harming anybody. You know, nobody's harming anybody at all. You know, let's not treat it like that. We are criticizing how Kathleen Kennedy handles a massive franchise as big as Star Wars, and I think that she does deserve that criticism. You know, I'm sorry if that's too harsh, but it's nothing, you know, physical or anything like that, or even verbal harm. It's just that we are criticizing how Kathleen Kennedy is literally directing Star Wars. You know, how she has moved Star Wars in such a terrible path that now John, George, and Dave have to take the load and pick up the pieces to put it all back together again. That's just my place on things. You know, that's how I see things right now. So I think that Pedro Pascal is obviously out of place. He doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to Star Wars, but I digress once again. He goes on to say that the fans to me are the source of the problem when it involves the inconsistencies that arise in the Star Wars movies and TV shows. It's my job as an actor to make sure that I can fulfill the writer's vision and even the director's. It has been fun working with John and Dave, but I will say that they feel immense pressure from fans many times based on their demands, with the way of storytelling and how the TV shows are written. The fans, in my opinion, need to stay quiet for us to focus on our creation. Again, I don't see this stopping anytime soon, because I realize fans are passionate people, but they need to realize that these are just fictional stories. These are either just movies and TV shows, and fans need to cool down on how they react to such films and shows, and that goes, of course, with it going either in the right direction or the wrong direction with them, and to not create panic for the creators working on these fine new editions of Star Wars. I mean it when I say Rian and JJ had a great example. You don't see them returning to Star Wars for that very reason, most likely. It's a difficult job, probably one of the most hardest jobs in the world to satisfy an entire fan base that makes up millions upon millions of people. The fans just need to sit back and hang tight while we put these new shows out. So that's what Pedro Pascal had to say, and I'm not quite sure how fans are going to react to that, but I think that he really needs to become a little bit more or less vocal and really kind of just keep things to himself. That's just how I feel. You want to voice an opinion once, fine, about the fandom, but when you want to keep on doing this and doing this over and over, that's when you begin to realize that it's kind of agenda driven, and it's kind of really an attempt to change how the fans think about the Star Wars and how they view Kathleen Kennedy, essentially, you know, wrecking the entire sequel trilogy. But anyways, guys, you know, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.